Hello everyone, this is MV doing a quick one, quick stream. Won't be a long one. I just want to conclude the New York Mets 1962 challenge from 1962. Getting towards the end of the season, and I thought I'd just brush up on where we are and play out the rest of the season. We're currently in September the 7th, 1962. Our record at the moment is 67 and 78. So, you know, we've done much better than the real Mets. And I've done it with recalc on career replay. So it's as close to real as I can get. Not real transactions or not real lineups, no. Just the basic setup. But I normally go with out of the park talent engine on. This time I've decided to go with recalc, which will give us a more close to real. I'm actually operating in the world of the trading GMs or GMs of 1962. So they have their own characteristics. The way I'm looking at this is, hopefully I'm recording. Yes, I am. It improves my knowledge of baseball, of course. As much as I am fairly familiar with the 60s main players, there are lots of nuggets that I'm finding out about. So there are my Mets, 67 and 78. And, you know, we've produced some decent performances. Ken Hubbs, 293. Is particularly heartwarming. Frank Thomas, 23 home runs. We've even promoted Lou Brock. That's not where I want him at the moment. I think this is just a generic lineup on the home page. But if you go into my front office or my lineups, you kind of see where we are now. You know, there's no Lou Brock. In fact, Lou Brock is there. Why have they put Lou Brock there? I do have control over my lineups, but on this occasion it seems to have shifted since I did the call-ups in September. So quick adjustment there. But Lou Brock, in his debut, little cup of coffee he's getting here. More than that, I'd say. In 62, in my game, he played 123 for the Quincy Jets, games for the Quincy Jets, 26 doubles, nice, 12 home runs, 82 ribbies. So he did reasonably well in A-ball, but promoted him to the majors a little earlier than I would have liked, although he did play at this time in real life. You can see his gap power's pretty good at the moment. Got some way to go with his contact hitting, but he's already hitting, batting 296. So I'm just going to fiddle with the lineup just a little bit, as I said. I know why that happened. I have the option here to automatically set my depth charts and lineups, or just the lineups. And in this case, I like to do it myself. I spent a lot of time with this, so why did I mess around with this? So I just go back here. I go with the no, I can't get my words out. On base percentage is where I always start. And against righties, splitters versus righties. Hey, TSUK, yes, I'm subscribed to you. I did have a subscription before, I didn't realise. Welcome into the channel. Just a continuation of my 1962 challenge. Not much showing of baseball, more of the behind the scenes stuff. 1962 New York Mets. So I was just resetting my lineup. In this challenge, the Mets won 40 games in real life. My Mets have won 67. A couple of little changes I made to the lineup and to the trades I've done seem to have worked. These are real life players. I'm just now trying to work out versus righties what I should do. The line has been suggested by my coach. So I am going to lead off with Lou Brock. I like to have a lefty hitter batting second. Boucher hasn't actually hit that well against, but he does get on base. So Brock will probably steal. He'll get on base. And Hobie Landreth will probably knock him in. Then we need some power, which is going to have to come from, sadly, Frank Thomas, but he's not really that powerful against righties. So I want to look at some slugging. Ken Hubbs is my man. Bob Neiman was brought in for that very reason, to hit home runs. Yeah. Neiman has trailed off quite a bit, actually. It's like I need some more power. The power went out in the season. It's a little bit of changing around. Ken Hubbs has done pretty well. If I do OPS plus. Milton Swift has done pretty well also, actually. But he's my backup catcher, 19 years old. In real life, Milton Smith, if you look him up, he was a minor leaguer. So I love the fact that my minor leaguers get a shot. Let's have a look. Frank Thomas needs to go back a little higher. They're the power guys. Jim Marshall seems to have lost his place, according to my coaches. Jim Marshall will be leaving the club in the summer. There's Jim Marshall. I could have promoted Pancho Herrera. I think he will hit home runs, but not yet. Yeah, this is it. Hubbs is... The only thing I'm worried about is Hubbs. I bet Hubbs third. Landreth doesn't really have power. Even where he is, he's a good player. I like Hobie Landreth. So we're all set for righties. Now we go for lefties. And my on base percentages. Boucher and Brock are fine. Frank Thomas will be fine there. Hubbs or Chacon or Landreth. I'll put Landreth there. Neiman should be batting cleanup, but he's lost a spot. No. Yeah, so I'm just playing around with it. Lou Brock is holding down a spot. Lou Brock is he's a young man, he's a rookie. So he's in the team. Ed Boucher, first baseman, he seems to have claimed it now. He was playing center field, been shifted. I want to get a way to get Pancho Herrera in here somehow. He's not ready yet. So we're going to play, look at my bullpen. But what we're going to do is ask the GM to generate the depth chart based on these lineups. Just the depth chart. That's better, so I don't mess around with it. And here we go. So now we're going to go for the last month. Let's go back to my pitching. Clem Labine. This is the one that's really not panned out so far. Is Don McMahon. Okay, so we'll go for this one. So let's press play. There's a way to delete these. Got it. Tag, delete. Lovely. So they're all deleted. Let's go now into the first where we are now. Play this rest of the month out till regular season ends. Unless we get an injury, it will stop. 75, I'll be happy with 75. So we had a 9-game streak with a quality start by Al Jackson. So have we got to the end of the season? Major Leagues. Yeah. And in 1962, the Dodgers take the series, take the National League. 113 wins. That's a good amount, isn't it? 702 average, 8-2. There's lots of good teams in the National League. The Pirates, the Giants, the Cardinals, even the Braves have done well there. However, the doormats were the Houston Colt 45s, which makes sense, the Cubbies, and us Mets. We got to 73 wins. Cannot complain. However, in 1962, in the American League, the Chicago White Sox have won the division. So let's have a look at them. This is their main team. Louis Aparicio, Floyd Robinson, who I've heard of. Didn't realize he was that good. Let's go Mets, Jerry! The magic is back. A big Mets fan here myself. Let's go Mets. Just playing the 62 season out of the park. This is part 4. Using out of the park 24. Joe Cunningham for the Chicago White Sox. They won their division. They won the American League. Just going down the league itself. Al Smith, Gene Woodling, he's 40 years old, had 23 home runs for them. Jim Landis, 20 home runs. Nellie Fox, 3-2-1s. Sherm Lollar. Some good seasons there for these Chicago White Sox. And of course, they didn't win it in real life. So that's pretty interesting just to see them. Led by Joe Cunningham, Jim Landis, and Gene Woodling is a veteran feel to that team. A look at my Mets. We finished with a very, very good 73-88. I traded for Lou Brock, for those of you who were following the previous couple of episodes. I got him and Kurt Motton for Richie Ashburn and Grim Mason. Now, Grim Mason's nobody, really. He does play for the Cubs, though, in this season. Batted .208, so we didn't really lose anything with him. However, Richie Ashburn, let's see what he did. For the Cubbies, at the age of 35, he hit a solid .273. I can't say we missed him. And Brock was a call-up in September. Lou Brock played just 22 games, .247 in his cup of coffee, 1 home run, 7-5 ratio with a stolen base, caught stealing. He'll be a factor next year. Big movement for me was Tracy Stallard. I brought him in. Al Jackson has been excellent. Really good season. Al has been really good. If I look at his pitching stats. Well, Jerry, I can't say I was around in 62, but I was definitely around in 83, 84, 85 onwards, and I fell in love with the Mets. Actually, in 1981. The magic was back. I was in New York as a kid, and I heard that slogan, or the slogan was "The magic is back." And it just captured my imagination. I'd flown over from London and loved it then as a kid. Obviously watched the Dwight Gooden years and the Strawberries and followed the Mets ever since. So I love meeting Met fans. RGL Network RGL's a big Mets fan in the community. But welcome into the channel, Jerry. Good to see you. I'm currently playing this challenge along with this community member called Big Clue. He's doing it on Action at the moment. I think he's had a worse record than I have. Traded for Ken Hubbs, who we know died sadly in a plane crash. But in this, he's very much alive. His ratings don't look very good. Offensive ratings, yet I think He goes on in my game so far. Played 157 games at shortstop, and he's a second baseman, so he did well. I haven't checked his fielding stats, but seems to have done well. Batting 296, 292. In real life in 1962, Ken Hubbs, playing at Wrigley, hit 260. So, a bit of production from Ken Hubbs. He had a good season so far for me. 14 home runs, much better than normal. So Ken Hubbs has done well. Just going back to the list again. Felix Mantilla had some power. Frank Thomas wasn't too bad. Bob Neiman cooled way off. He had started the season really well. There's a way to pull up all of his stats for the year. Streaks. So he had some streaks throughout the season. Had a 16-game on-base streak at one point. I would have to say, trading for him on that salary. What was the trade? Nobody wins. I got it for Harry Cheaty. Harry Cheaty went on to play for Cleveland, and he batted 277 with 1 home run. I don't think we've lost anything or gained. Walter Bianchi is in the minors. So my evaluation of the season, Sherman Jones was out all season. Just look at the schedule. This looks like a really bad month, actually, the ending. We've got 1 game to go. Right, we can play that one. This was at the Cubbies. So there is 1 more game, it looks like, on the 30th. And this is the 30th, so there is 1 more game. It will be Bob Miller versus Ron Mueller. I'll call the game, and then I won't call it, actually. I'll just watch it. And a bit of commentary. This was at Wrigley Field in 1962. And it's for the Cubs. Behind the plate, Dick Bertel. First base, Ernie, let's play 2 blanks. Second base is Charlie Neal. Now, Charlie Neal, I did trade him for Gary Baker, who's done nothing, and Ken Hubbs. So Charlie looking to get one over me today. At shortstop, Andy Roberts. At third base, Ron Santo. Left field, Billy Williams. So some good young players there, Santo and Williams. I think Williams is a Hall of Famer as well, right? Center fielder, Richie Ashburn, another center fielder. And in right field, George Altman. Now, he looks like a hitter. Never heard of George Altman before, but looking at his real life stats, had a good season in 1962, the real 1962, with 22 home runs. It seems that was it for him. George Altman, if anyone in the future wants to tell me about George Altman, I'll be happy to hear about him. So, leading off for me, or the Mets, top of the first inning, Lou Brock. Brock up from the minor leagues. As I call this game to close out the 1962 season. Here's the 1-2. And Lou Brock strikes out on a curveball. So Ron Mueller went 3-2 on the season for the Cubs. Stepping up now is Ken Hubbs, batting .292. Had a good first season with the Mets. As a bit of feedback from Jerry, I play as the Mets in Outland Park, but I start in 61 so I can draft the inaugural Mets. Okay, so you have no Hoban Andreth for you. It's saddening you when you... Well, I like Richie Ashburn anyway. I've read a lot about him. Obviously, I didn't see him play, but I did read about him. He was one of the Whiz kids, and he just had a good baseball. He had a great career, and I really did wring my hands over that one. But in the end, common sense prevailed. I can't remember who I traded him for now. Let's have a look. Lou Brock, yeah, because the Cubs, he was from the Cubs, criminally underrated in real life, Lou Brock. Because I'm sure they wouldn't let him go to St. Louis, so I thought, you know what? I'll be St. Louis. And I'll take him. So yeah, good move. Thank you for that. Here's Ken Hubbs now, batting right-handed. Ken batting .297. Here's the 0-2 count to Ken. Struck him out on a fastball. Good fastball from Ron Mueller. It's 2 away. Here's a man that's disappointed me, really. Bob Neiman. I traded him knowing he had a big salary. Getting rid of fan favorites like Gil Hodges. I got rid of Gil Hodges because of age. And yet here I am contradicting myself. I just had a feeling he would do well. And actually, the first few months, Bob Neiman was hot. And then he's just cooled off. Here's Neiman now as he faces Mueller. Mueller into his windup on a 3-2. And that one rockets the right field. And that could be a double for Bob Neiman. There you go, Bob. Just as I was talking about you. Hey, Dwayne Martz. Welcome, welcome, welcome. This is the last day of 1962, Dwayne. The Mets got to 74 wins. I'm trying to go for the 74th. But they're going for 74 or 75, which is 34 or 35 games. Is my maths right? Yeah. Then better than they did in real life. So I'm really happy. Here's Ed Boucher. Boucher gets on base. Not much of a hitter. Lefty. Here's the 0-1. And a flare out to left field high in the sky. Ashburn goes for it, but Billy Williams takes charge. Pulls it down to retire the side. So top of the first inning. New York nothing, get nothing across. We go to the bottom of the first. I know. It's typical NV broadcasting, Dwayne. Here's Richie Ashburn, who Jerry was saying was disappointed or saddened that Richie was gone, but you can't argue for Lou Brock. Here's the 0-1. That one drilled to short, and the dependable Ken Hubbs. Hubbs has been playing shortstop. He's a bona fide second baseman. We've got Ron Hunt, who's come up from the minor leagues, at second. Pilfered from the Braves. Now that I've seen Ron Santo, I'm going to do everything I can to get Ron Santo on board next season. On the mound for the Mets, Bob Miller. Bob Miller went 12-15 with a 3.78 ERA. I think Miller and Jackson have done very well this season. Despite that, I mean, I don't know what they had in real life. So Jerry saying hello to you there, Dwayne? Well, Neiman was a hunch. It was just a hunch. And, I mean, Jerry, he's only batting .222, so I'll be curious to see what he's hitting for you. And I suppose you're playing on an, out of the park. But Big Clue, he should come in a minute, actually. He's doing an action. It's fun to see everybody else doing, or other Mets fans, or just fans, doing the Mets replay. It's an interesting one. Leading off is Ron Santo for the Cubs. Grounded to Ron Hunt. Hunt over to first. Got him. So got a nice keystone there with Hobbs and Hunt. Hobbs only 45 defense. I like his bat though. Hunt. So Felix Mantilla is a third, which means Elio Chacon is sitting this one out. Here's George Altman, a player I don't know much about. It's a 2-2 to Altman. Struck him out. Altman had a good season for the Cubs. Here's Frank Thomas. Frank's got 26 home runs, 90 RBIs. Mueller looks in. It's a full count on Frank Thomas. And that one's belted to left center field, but Billy Williams calls off Ashburn, and he loves it. So it was closing in on the wall, as was Ashburn closing on the ball, but nicely taken by Billy Williams. Nice to see these Cubs. We're going to be fighting them. So we go to the top of the second inning. Now, Felix Mantilla, we are at the top of the second inning still. 1 out. Mueller with a 3-1. That one is low and outside, and he walks Mantilla. Felix, not much of a stolen base threat, and I think the axe will fall. As Dwayne says, my axe is poised over Felix Mantilla as a GM. I'm going to beat George Weiss to this pennant. Mets win it all in 69. I think you can do it a little sooner than that. Here's Hobie Landreth now, batting 244. It's 2-1 to Landreth. This went up the middle for a base hit. Landreth had a decent season. As Jerry did not draft him, I don't think. He's 32 years old, Hobie. In real life in 1962, with the New York Mets, he batted 289. Came from, it looks like, the San Francisco Giants. Had one season, I think, according to this, with the Mets, and then it looked like he went to the Orioles and then on to the Senators to close his career out. We're going to try and stretch Hobie. He's one of my favorites so far. Here's Mueller now. Runner on second, runner on first. 1 man out, top of the second. Ron Hunt at the plate. And Ron Hunt has his high to center field. Ashburn weighs off Williams, and that is 2 out. Here's the pitcher, Bob Miller. Bob Miller now batting 122 on the season. No home runs. It's a good season on the hill. And he hits us to center field, and Richie reaches up, and he catches it, and the inning's over. New York gets nothing, but strands appear. Go to the bottom of the second. Now my ace, Bob Miller, on the mound. I like the Millers had 159 strikeouts. He will be staying next season. There's Ernie Banks leading off for the Cubs. It's a 1-1 count on Ernie. And he drills up the middle. Nice move to his left by Hobbs. He knocked it down and sent it to first. 1 away. Yeah, we may have to upgrade Hobbs, though. He's not the greatest at short, but he's got a good bat. But I have Ron Hunt at second base. Again, not the best defensively, actually. He should be. So Mantilla is probably one I'm going to shift next year. We've got some youngsters. I've got Paul Blair. Paul Blair starts off with the Mets in this sim. I'm going to try and convert him to an outfielder because at the moment he's a shortstop. Here's Billy Williams now at the plate, bottom of the second. 1-0 count. That was lifted into shallow center field, base hit. Lou Brock will collect it, and that's hit number 170 for Billy Williams on the season. Here's Charlie Neal. He started the season as a New York Met. Here's the 1-1 count. Come on. Oh, nice diving play by Hobbs. But no throw. I thought he had a play there. So 2 men on. Neal on first, Williams at second. Here's Andre Rogers, shortstop for the Cubs. There's a 3-1. That's inside. And everybody moves up a base. Walk number 50 for Andre Rogers. Oh, right. Yeah, Hobie. I like Hobie. Hobie Landreth is, for me, outstanding. I'm definitely going to try and keep him as long as I can. Until better talent. I've got the draft is going to be the real draft. As in, the rookies will be assigned to their real teams. for the sin, just to keep some familiarity in it. Here's Dick Bertel. Struck him out. Miller is a strikeout pitch. He's got a strikeout pitch in him. I like that. Lots of movement on these pitches. He's in a bit of a jam now. Bases loaded, 2 men out, bottom of the second, score nothing. But the pitcher at the plate, Ron Mueller. Here's the 1-0. Mueller pops it up. And it looks like Hobbs has it. And that's it. No runs, 2 hits, 1 walk. 3 men left on base. Go to the top of the third inning now. Lou Brock steps in. Brock batting .245 in limited appearances. 0 for 1 today. Mueller looks in, gets a sign from Bertel. Kicks and fires on a 1-2. That one's drilled to short. Rogers gloved it cleanly over the first. Got him. So no chance to see Lou Brock's speed. Be interested to see how he develops. Hello, D. Scott Howard. This is the last game of the 1962 season. New York Mets, D. Scott. I managed to get 74 wins out of the Mets with a couple of trades. And I've got the trading on hard as well, so I've been very fortunate. Mueller on the hill now as Ken Hubbs steps in. There's the 0-2 to Hubbs. Struck him out. Hubbs thought he was outside. 2 away here, top of the third. Score nothing. The Cubs are in the basement. I think the Colt 45s were lower than the Cubs, and then came us, but we still had 73, I think it's 73 or 74 wins. Here's Ron Mueller now, as Bob Neiman steps in. It's an 0-1 count to Neiman. Neiman hits it high, and the second baseman and the shortstop converge. Rogers is on the move, and he's got it for the final out. That retires the side. The game is still scoreless. So I put my teeth back in. Right, D. Scott. As Richie Ashburn steps in. Richie traded away from the Mets earlier on in the season. Here's the 1-2 for Miller. And Ashburn hits it high to left field. And Thomas hustles towards it and he grabs it on the glove side. Frank Thomas, not the quickest in left field. I've seen him earlier on in the season loaf a little bit. But he's the blue-eyed boy. He does have the power. Should I trade Frank Thomas in the offseason? He's 33 years old. He's hit 26 home runs so far this season. Here's Ron Santo now. I'd love a Ron Santo in this team. It's the 1-0 to Santo. Up the middle, pass house base hit. Lou Brock will collect it. Yes, the Lee Brock from the St. Louis fame. But in this, he's obviously starts with the Cubs. And I've plucked him out of the system. But I did have to give up Richie Ashburn. Here's Joe Altman. Makes you wonder. As Altman sits down on a sinker, the Mets GM, George Weiss, was going for familiarity and veterans. Because there's plenty of minor leaguers that can fit this Mets team. In fact, I will do a scouring of it in the off-season, the minor leagues. I've got minor leagues on. So here's Ernie Banks, first baseman. That one is hit high to center field. That one might go. No, it hits the top of the ivy. Brock after it. And Ernie Banks with a triple. And a run scores. Santos scores on a RBI triple from Ernie Banks. Just see that one again. That one launched high to center field. Brock could not catch up with it. It was a changeup. Great play there by Ernie Banks. Yeah, I know. It's sad. Really sad. Hello, SGJ. SGJ. Yeah, that's right. 1962, meet the Mets. We're very lucky to beat the season. You can see the players in the field. Ken Hubbs I traded for. Ron Hunt I think I traded for. Because in some games he starts on the Mets. And some games he starts with the Braves. I traded him. Much to my kind of like... I was like, really? He's actually dropped in the trade prospects. He started off, it looks like, prospect number 37. He's now 69. The Braves traded by the Braves to the Mets in exchange for Herb Moffitt. So Moffitt is a Brave. Much to Dwayne's delight, Herb Moffitt. And for Rod Cannell, who I knew was a Met, I knew was good. Cannell is in the Braves, at the Braves as well. And Jim Hickman, who I was really worried about. I'm thinking, this guy I think comes good. Bit of a heavy price there for Ron Hunt. Let's hope he pans out. Here's Billy Williams now. Cubs lead 1-0 here in the bottom of the third inning. And that's line down the third base past Mantilla. Base hit, run scores. 2-0 Cubs in this last of the season. Well, D. Scott, I don't think he makes Rookie of the Year this time, but we'll see. The awards haven't come out yet. Here's Charlie Neal. Yes, I traded Charlie Neal as well. This one's popped up. Hubbs gloves it, and that is the end of the inning, but 2 runs aboard for the Cubs as we go to the top of the 4th inning. Ron Mueller on the mound. As Ed Boucher comes in. Ed Boucher is a walk machine. He gets on base. Here's the 1-1. And there's a line that, no, a soft shot to short. It was not a big swing, but they get Boucher out. So the type of personality I want for my Mets. There's a bit of power in the middle, lots of speed and on base. I don't think the other teams are valuing on base at this stage. And I have the advantage of being of having watched analytics. I don't know if in the 60s, if they were using some version of analytics. They probably were by then. But it's very much about what they saw. To put the $sign on the muscle. Great book, by the way. 2 out now, Mets here with Felix Mantilla. Thomas grounded out just before him. This one's popped up. And Neal ranges over, and the Mets go down in order. Quick out for the Mets there. Go to the bottom of the 4th inning now, as Andre Rogers steps in. Here's the 1-0 for Miller. That was line to third. Mantilla up with it over the first. Got him. Rogers retired. 1 away. Here's Dick Bertel coming up now. Bertel batting 234 this season. He's 0 for 1 today. There's the first pitch from Miller. Straight down to Hubbs. Hubbs up with it. Over the first. Got him. Ed Boucher playing first base has earned a spot since Lou Brock took over in September in center field. He was moved to first, and that meant Jim Marshall now sits on the bench. Here's Bob Miller now just rubbing that ball. Gets a sign from Hobie Landreth as the pitcher Ron Mueller is in the box. Miller toes a rubber. Kicks and fires on an 0-1. That one's drilled to first. Nice pick up there by Boucher. Ed Boucher, I found out from Clue, had a bit of a problem with the police just prior to these couple of seasons. I think in 58. I believe he was caught exposing himself. Sorry, Ed, to your memory, but at least in my game, you're good. You can play on my Mets. Top of the 5th inning now as Hobie Landreth steps in. He's turning into one of my leaders already. He is a veteran. I think he's about 32 years old. Boucher is 32 years old, just like I thought. Sorry, Landreth is 32 years old. Miller the lefty on the mound. Top of the fifth inning, score is 2-0 Cubs. We're at Wrigley Field. Attendance of 11,799. Temperature 59 degrees. Wind out to center at 9 miles per hour. I always like coming to Wrigley Field. First pitch. And down the line past Ron Seno into left field. And Billy Williams will pick it up. The runner will go into second. A double for Hobie Landreth, who in real life, according to Jerry, was a first pick for the Mets, I believe. Here's Ron Hunt now, batting just 204. Limited at bats. Landreth at second. The Mets trying to get back into it. Here's a 2-0. That's drilled straight to second. Nice play by Charlie Neal. Pulled in, throw to first. Hunt is out. But Landreth will get to third. Landreth was a good source of news for the Mets. But the pitcher is in now, Bob Miller. Miller batting 120. The last time I said that on the broadcast, he hit a double. Let's see what happens here. Miller into his stretch. It's a full count. And Bob Miller drives in Landreth, just like last time. 2-1 Cubs, still in front. See, judges are habit of calling something. Here's Lou Brock now stepping in. The rookie, 23-year-old rookie left-hand hitter. Mueller looks in, gets a sign from Bertel. Looks over at first. I don't think Miller's a threat to steal. My club is set for just vanilla running on base. I may have to up that individually for Brock. One thing I like about Out of the Park is that you can set individual strategy. Here's the 1-2. And Brock with a big swing and strikes out of their fastball. So Ron Mueller on the mound gets his 60th strikeout on the season from 78 innings. Here's Ken Hubbs. 1-2 to Ken Hubbs. And he struck out looking. Curveball froze him. So we go to the bottom of the fifth inning now. Richie Ashburn steps in. Veteran Richie Ashburn. 0 for 2 today. Here's the 1-2 to Richie. And a soft line up the middle. And Hubbs doesn't make a play. So Ashburn with a nubber straight up the middle. Hubbs charged hard. Made the pickup. But Ashburn reaches base with an infield hit. We've seen Hubbs hold on to the ball. This is not his real position, so I'm not surprised. Here's Ron Santo. Santo 1 for 2 today. That one hit high to right field. Should be an easy play for Neiman. And that's one away. There's George Outman. I need to do some research on George Outman. Anyone in the chat, tell me about George Outman. I'll be most delighted. Never heard of the guy, but he looks really good. Outman, the left-hand hitter, steps in. Here's a 2-1. That one on the outside of the plate, up the middle, base hit. Ashburn is safe at third. So the Cubs have a runner at third, and a runner at first. Altman at first, Ashburn at third. Ernie Banks steps in now. Ernie not had a good season with the bat in terms of, well, he's just not had a good season. Hit 24 home runs, but meh, hasn't really done much else. His on-base percentage is .271. His OPS is .658. That's not the Ernie Banks I know. Banks looks up at the press box as if he heard that one. Bob Miller looks in. Runners at the corners. 1 out. Bottom of the fifth. And a pitch down the middle. A throw down the second. And Altman gets his 25th stolen base. Let's check out Hobie Landreth's arm. What is Landreth's arm? See, Landreth is not the best, you see. I do have a young catcher that can take over in a season, but not just yet. Here's Ernie Banks. 2-2 to count. Struck him out Fastball out of the zone there from Bob Miller. I do like this Bob Miller though. I do like him. Here's Billy Williams at the plate. 2 for 2 today, Billy. Miller looks in, gets a sign. And a base hit for Billy Williams to right field. 2 runs will score. 4-1 Cubs. So, just as I said I like Bob Miller, Billy Williams goes 3 for 3 with a hit down a 2-run single to right. So now we trail 4-1, bottom of the 5th inning. Charlie Neal steps in. And that one gets away from Landreth. And luckily, Williams does not go to second. Bob Miller lost his composure there for a moment. It's 2-2 count. And he strikes out. Umpire's ruling was he went around. I don't think Charlie was happy with that. But here we go, top of the 6th inning now. Bob Neiman, we need some hits here, Bob. Let's go. So 0-1 on Bob, and that's a hit deep to center field, but Richie Ashburn is back on it and he gets it. Let's have a look at Richie Ashburn. 35 years old, a 45 defense, but his range, see, this is the interesting bit. It says defense, his range is 55 composite. Okay, 45 range in center field, not the best. Here's Ed Boucher. There's the 0-2 to Boucher. And that is a little flare to left field base hit. Billy Williams will pick it up. And Boucher on base. Boucher has hit 20 home runs this season. He had a little late surge towards the end of the season to get to 20. So he's one of the guys I did put in. As D-Cuts Howard gives me some information. So Outman was a big success in Japan, 68 to 75. So I guess you take it that he had a late bloom in his career. This is George Outman at right field, currently 29 years old. After 1962 actually, he stops hitting home runs. Mysteriously. Here's Ron Mueller on the mound as Frank Thomas steps in. Frank, a big hitter. 65 power, 26 home runs. 90 RBIs. He's done what I expected him to. That one hit up the middle and high in the air, but the center fielder, Richie Ashburn, has it. 2 away. The Mets trail 4-1, top of the 6th inning. Felix Mantilla steps in. He will be replaced in the offseason. I guarantee it. He's hitless in this game. I don't know if that was a bunt or a broken bat single. So an infield single for Mantilla, and Boucher goes to second. Let's go Mets. There's my main man, Hobie Landreth, now stepping in. Mueller looks at Boucher. I don't think Boucher's a threat. 2 out here, 2 men on, top of the 6th inning. Chicago Cubs lead the Mets 4-1. Here's the 1-2, and he struck out Landreth with a 64 miles an hour curve. Is that curve? CV? So we go to the bottom of the 6th inning now. Bob Miller still on the mound for the Mets as Andre Rogers steps in. That one lines straight at Mantilla in third. Tough luck for Rogers. 1 away. There's Dick Bertel now. He's 0 for 2 today, stepping in to catch up for the Cubs. Dick Bertel. Let's have a look at Dick Bertel. 26 years old. An American with a city unknown. Born in 1935. In real life, had a good 1962 season actually, 302. In this season, not so much. Batting just 233. Landry puts the target down. Miller into his stretch. His 0-2 count. Struck him out. Bob Miller continues to strike. Patel wanted to check his swing, but he thinks he checked in time. But the umpire says, no. Sit down. The at-bat is over for Bertel. 2 away. Coming to the plate now is Ron Mueller. They're going to let him hit. Full count on Mueller. And Bob Miller loses his man. He'll be unhappy with that. Miller wanted that call on the outside. That's just only his second walk of the ball game. And he walks the pitcher, so he won't be happy. Stepping in now, Richie Ashburn. 1 for 3 today, Richie. This is the last game of the season for the Mets. Their inaugural season. Casey Stengel has done a great job. Here's a 2-2. This one up the middle, base hit for Richie. So the Cubs have 2 men on. Ron Santos steps in. 18 home runs this season, 1 for 3. Bob Miller now looking like he's tiring just a little bit. Here's a 2-2. This one hit high in the air by Santo. Neiman will come after it and waves away Brock. And the Cubs get nothing, a strand a pair. The score is still 4-1 Cubs in the season ender. Here's Ron Hunt. Top of the 7th inning. Ron Mueller still on the mound. First pitch to Hunt. And Ron Hunt gets a little filler effort. What a diving play by George Outman. Nice diving play, even if I say so myself. Outman will go on to have big success in Japan, as I've been reliably informed by D. Scott Howard. Welcome. Thank you, D. Scott Howard. Mueller looks in. Bertel puts a sign down as Bob Miller comes to the plate. See if he can return the favor. And it's down to third. Up with it, Santo. Santo over the first. Got him. Early takes the ball quite nicely there from Ron Santo. That's 2 away. Some good talent on the Cubbies. Ashburn, Santo, Altman, Banks, Williams, Charlie Neal. Yet they finished less than our Cubs. As we get a bit of information about Dick Bertel. Thank you, D. Scott Howard. Dick Bertel was inducted into the Iowa State Hall of Fame. I'm wondering why. Here we go. With all respect for Dick Bertel, I'll have to look him up. Thank you, D. Scott. Lou Brock leads off now for, not leads off, he's at the plate. 2 men out, top of the 7th. Mets looking to get something on the board. Stating the obvious. And a flare to left field, and Lou Brock goes, and that's Lou Brock with a single. That one dropped just in front of Williams, so will we see Brock steal? Here's Ken Hubbs. And a throw down a second, they nailed him. Dick Bertel, showing why he's in the Iowa Hall of Fame. A throw down a second, and they get the rookie Brock out. Let's see if they actually play tape after the ball game, because sometimes they say it. I can't hear it. Time for everyone to get up, stretch, and sing along. I'm not going to sing. In action, it does come up immediately. Sometimes it does in out of the park, and sometimes the sound sample doesn't start for whatever reason. I need to check that out. Leading off is George Altman. And Altman risks to right field. Bob Neiman will cut it off. And a base hit for George Altman. As Ernie Banks steps in, he's at 1 RBI today. 1 hit, 1 for 3 today. On a poor season for Ernie. Batting cleanup today. Altman's on first. Miller gets a sign from Landreth. Here's the 0-1. Up the middle, base hit for Ernie Banks. And Altman will go to third as a throw comes in, not in time. Yeah, D. Scott, I agree. I mean, I didn't watch these guys. I've read little bits. The thing I love about the career play in Out of the Park is to find out, like you said. In your case, you're remembering them. I didn't know these guys, not all of them. I've read about some of them. But like Altman, I'd never heard of before, or if I had, I've forgotten. I'd heard of Hubbs, Hunt, Frank Thomas, but I get confused. Not with the other Frank Thomas. There's another guy that plays for the Dodgers. Frank Howard, I think. I get them mixed up. I know Brock was. I've heard of Bob Neiman, and now I know him. You know, so every time I play this kind of game, I get to know the players. So Billy Williams I know, not intimately as in, you know, his story, other than he played in the 60s and the Hall of Famer for the Cubs. But I agree, there's a lot of players that I've learned from playing Out of the Park, and they have interesting stories. And now I know. I will always know who Hobie Landreth is. To me, he was just a name on a book that I never paid attention to. Now, if I read, and I've got I think a book by, it's called The Amazings. I think it's by Peter Gollenbach, actually. I've got that book, but I've never paid attention to Hobie Landreth's name. But yet tonight, I definitely have learned a lot. Strong arm, but a weak bat. He's not had a strong arm today. Thanks, D. Scott. So here we are, bottom of the 7th inning, runs on the corners. Last game of the season. And that was ripped. Nice play at first. What a play at first. That was hit sharply, but Boucher up with it and threw the second for 1. But Banks broke up the potential for a twin kill. Let's have a look at it again. That was a brilliant play by Boucher. Boucher, who's not the best defensively. I'll just play that one again. Play it again, Sam. There it is. Boom! Up with it. Over the second. Run did score, but Banks broke up the double play. 5-1 Cubs. Charlie Neal now steps in. I could take Miller out of it if I was running the game. 1-2 count. That one's popped up. Landreth goes after it. But Boucher makes the catch. 2 away. Here's Andre Rogers. That was a great play by Boucher before that. That could have been a double. Could have been a triple. Miller looks in, gets a sign from Landreth. Here's the 0-1. And that one's hit straight to second base. Ron Hunt will take it to second, and that's that. Chicago gets a run on 2 hits. A runner left on. The Cubs add to their lead. It's 5-1 Cubs. We're at the top of the 8th inning now as Ken Hubbs comes in. Let's see if, I don't know if he's going to make Rookie of the Year. We'll see at the end of this game. Here's a 2-2. Struck him out. 7th strikeout for Ron Mueller. Or Mueller. Or Mueller. He has done well today, actually. I like the look of this guy. Maybe he has a place in my rotation next year. Let's see what they want for Ron Mueller from the Cubs. There's Bob Neiman now stepping in. He's 1 for 3 today. Let's see Bob do something. First pitch up the middle, base hit for Bob Neiman. So Bob coming through on cue. Let's get Ed on. I like Ed. He's really great walker. I mean, he's nearly, 374 on base percentage. I don't care how much he bats. I care about how much he gets on base. Miller looks in on it. Boucher waits for the pitch. First pitch. And a high fly ball to right field. And Altman calls off Ashburn. And he gets it, reaches up, and that's 2 away. Now we have a pitching change, or some changes in the Chicago defense. Hey, Clue. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Never trade for Cub pitchers since Jerry. Okay. I'll take your word. Okay, I'll take that advice. Well, Clue, we got to 17. How much did you get to, Clue, in your Action PC? You did 62. I think you're in 63 now. As coming onto the mound is Bobby Typhonaro. Tiffenauer, right-hand pitcher for the Cubs. Again, this is what I love out of the park. 32 years old. He's a closer from Kozad, Nebraska. Not the best pitcher in his arsenal, but he has a knuckleball that he can throw at the very least on occasion. Very good control, will keep his walks down, but his stuff is well below average. Tiffenauer can provide adequate middle relief. Well, actually, we'll know that Tiffenauer is not, if I can say his name right, is not going to be with the Mets, because I've just been told and advised not to trade for Cubs pitchers. I find that really funny. At shortstop, we have a change as well. Jimmy Stewart, not the movie star, is going to be at second. So, clues. So, let's have a look here. Go back a step. So, Ron Hunt was known for getting hit by pitches. Didn't have to look him up. No, fair enough. Never trade for Cub pitchers is the line of the day. I like that one. D. Scott Howard says, Frank Howard had the most success with the Senators. Yep. 40 home runs over a 5-year stretch. I think I'll go Frank at the end of his career, D. Scott. 6-2 Mets finished 63 and 99 in last place. Wow. Well, not that bad, Click, because I'm only 73 wins. So 10 more wins than you, to be fair. Miss finishing ninth by a single game. Dwayne, MV sounds like the movie Moneyball. That's right. That's right, Dwayne. That's all I care about is to get on base. And with the pitching, the exact opposite. Here we go. So Jimmy Stewart on the mound, on set short. No other changes. Newman on base. Tiffenauer has finished warming up. And here's Frank Thomas, a man who had some great seasons with the Senators. Averaged 40 home runs over a 5-year stretch, as D. Scott Howard reminds me. 2 men out, top of the 8th. Mets trail. Out one's off his fists. And in foul territory, Ernie Banks has it. Inning over. No runs on 1 hit, no errors. 1 left on. The score is still 5-1. Cubs over the Mets. Now we're bringing one of the guys who do not like to see on the mound too much. Ken McKenzie, the southpaw. Now on the mound for New York. No changes in the outfield. As Dick Bertel leads off. Dick Bertel from in the Iowa Hall of Fame. I'll always remember that. Lefty on lefty, bottom of the 8th. First pitch from McKenzie. That's inside and hit high to left field. And Frank Thomas with the red shoes is waiting there, and he reels it in. 1 away. The 12,000 Cubby fans, all appreciative today. Last day of the season. Stepping in now is Jimmy Stewart, shortstop for the Cubs. McKenzie looks, it's a full count on Jimmy Stewart. And he hits his high to center field. In comes the rookie, the rookie, Lou Brock. 2 away. Here comes a man who's no longer a rookie. He's a veteran, Richie Ashburn. Getting plenty of support from the crowd. Very popular player, Richie. McKenzie looks up, gets a sign from Landreth. Here's a 2-2. And struck him out. Landreth does that pitch into the strike zone. So strikeout number 40 for Ken McKenzie. That ends the bottom of the 8th. Nothing across for Chicago. They're up 5-1 though, as the Mets take their last shot here, top of the 9th. Leading off is Felix Mantilla. Tiffenauer on the mound. Here's a 1-0 to Felix, and that's a hit to right field. That's going back, but Altman pulls it in. For one moment, I thought that was a home run for the Mets. George Altman playing possum in right field. He took off really slowly and then accelerated to get the ball. 1 out. Here's Hobie Landreth. Full count on Landreth. Landreth with a little flare, but that goes straight to second base. Charlie Neal with a nice play. So Mets down to the last out. They're trading 5-1. Ron Hunt steps in. Ron up for a very small amount of at-bats this season. Came up in September. Batting just 200. Ty for now looks in. Here's the 0-1. Hunt straight to the shortstop, and Stewart fills it. Game is over. The Cubs beat the Mets 5-1. Right, Jerry, thank you very much for that. I've seen Mackenzie get shelled, actually, but glad you gave me a bit of information. All information is welcome. And I'll go in to close out the season in a second. Big clue, Frank Thomas hit 277 with 37 home runs. In real life, Mackenzie, the only pitcher with a winning record of 60. Okay, I've learnt again. Yeah, Frank looks very consistent. And I know, Dwayne, you're running the 61 season, aren't you? So, yeah, I was watching a bit of that today. On your Digital Diamond, I think it was, I was watching. Yeah, so here we go. So I love the way Out of the Park would do this. They've been doing it for about 10 years, this bit, with the write-up. I've always worked out, how the hell did they do that? Or wondered. So that's the end of the season, folks, I think, as we leave this ballgame and play the day. Then you can see me wielding my axe in the off-season. So have a look at the Mets. Ken Hubbs is my best hitter. Frank Thomas, best power man. Not much stealing of base, but Brock only came in the last part of the season. Ken McKenzie went 1-2 on the season. Ray Dovio came in a trade. I kind of just plucked him in there, to be honest with you. I don't think he's up to much. No, he's not. So what I'm going to do is, as the season's coming to an end, I want to just play until playoff round. So here's the playoffs. So basically the White Sox and the Dodgers, and the White Sox win the World Series. Wow. The White Sox beat the Dodgers. Interesting. So I'll just look at the standings for 1962. Let's have a look. I think just game just updates the season. With Ted Williams coming on to Manchester City, Howard hit 48 home runs. Wow, so he had a late surge again. I really need to work out who he is, because I know Frank Howard and Frank Thomas, the original Frank Thomas I call him, but I just don't know the difference between the two. So I need to study a little bit more. That's right. Listen, we're here to win, Dwayne. That's why. Look. You know, with the Howie Shanks League that we do, the Red Bolts have won in Ed McGreevy, and also we won, I think it was season 3 of the Howie Shanks. It's the ruthlessness that does it. I don't mess about, you know. So just waiting for this to update. It's sorting out the season, I think. So just looking at the stats, though, Floyd Robinson's another one I want to hear. So the White Sox had a lot of hitters, good hitters, in this sim. So my goal was complete. It looks like I improved team chemistry. I can't be fired. I made sure I fixed that. So I got a score. So this is a score. Season score is 565. I have no idea what benchmark is. But it says, this is a very fine job. Score MV. Good job. Well, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Oh, so just looking at the task that caught my eye immediately, there are the following players on the trading block. Bob Gibson is on the trading block. Folks, what do you say? There's the award voting to go ahead. Why does Bob Gibson? I just saw it. Bob Gibson is on the trading block. Before I go any further though, my owner says we have 2.1 million available. I'm not going to change any of that stuff. Don't suck completely 1963. Get a top player. Get attendance of 13,000. Find a top 10 prospect. Okay, no worries. Here are the prospects, folks, in 1962 going into 63. This is October, it looks like, 1962. There's a lot of prospects here. Rico Carty, Dick Allen, Willie Stargell, Tony Perez, Rico Petrocelli, Roy White without the afro, Bill Singer, Jim Merritt, Ferguson Jenkins with the Phillies, Kurt Blefary. Interesting. But what did I see earlier? I saw League News. I saw something about Bob Gibson. I saw him in, is it Trading Block? There you are. Folks. No, Jerry, I put the trade difficulty on high. I'm certain of it. Let me just double check. I'm absolutely certain it's on high. Is it game settings? I'll double check it because I'm pretty sure I changed. I took a coaching system off because I don't want the personality thing going in there. Where would I find it, Jerry? Because I'm pretty certain I did it though. Would be league settings maybe? No. Maybe it's in my one. Yeah, management options. General manager cannot be fired. Playing commissioner mode, yes. I'm sure I put it on hard difficulty. I'm certain of it. Obviously, I do all the stuff here, but where do I find that? Jerry, where do I find it on here? Just to double check it. Leagues and teams. Gibson's overrated. Really, Clue? I mean, you would know. That's so funny. Where is the thing for trading? I don't think I'd find it like this, but I'll just try. No, where is it? Anyway, I'm pretty confident it's on as high as it can be. This AI settings, right? Got it. So, gotcha. Thank you. Yeah, trading. Oh, I see what you're saying. So I've got hard mode for trading. So that's that. But what you're saying is I could do that. Right, gotcha. Well, where should I put it? Around here? Trade for Dick Stewart. Okay, I'll have a look at Dick Stewart. So I've just put the trading difficulty up a bit more. Jerry, do you think that's hard enough or even harder? Because I thought I just put that in there. Use hard mode for trading. Because I thought that's what that was. But actually, it's moving this a little bit. That's fine. So Clue is saying so game settings AI. Let's have a look at it, Clue. Let's have a look. Rosters and transactions. Let me get through the season, actually. And because they're announcing the Gold Gloves. So here we go. So it looks like the youngsters have now been drafted. Because Cleon Jones has just shown up now. So I'm assuming, in real life, Cleon Jones came in 1963. And yes, he's now appeared in my database as a draftee. So we'll designate him to, and it looks like see, what I love about this is now changed the minor leagues. The Mets have now got the Buffalo Bisons in AAA. We didn't have that before. In fact, we've got quite a few Mets. Before I had the Quincy Jets, but now it's all changed. I've now got the Raleigh Mets. who I don't remember having before. The Quincy Jets I do remember because I had Brock there last season. So now I can really fiddle around with it. Harold Haddock. What a name that is. Harold Haddock. But yeah, I'm beginning to see the Cleon Jones. Cleon, you're going to go to AAA, son. No, Cleon, you're going to go to the Jets because they seem to develop. So here, wow, look at that. Wow. I've got to find a room now for my outfield because I've got Cleon Jones, I've got Lou Brock, and I've got Paul Blair in the how do I look at it in a different way? Yeah. Front office, player development. There we are. The entire organization set out for me now. Paul Blair can play right field. Cleon is going to fight Lou Brock here. Blair can play shortstop. I've got to make him play shortstop because I'm going to make him play. He can play everywhere. Right field, left field. So I really would like him to play. Ron Hunt, Ken Hubbs. Bud Harrelson's there now. I didn't see him before. So Bud Harrelson's turned up on the Salinas Mets. So what it's done is it's brought in the database for some of the teams that weren't there in '62. Right, gotcha, Jerry. I'm going to do the same. So let's have a look here. What did Jerry do? Game settings, AI settings. Let's do this. Okay, so that's it, Jerry. I've done the same thing. Thank you for the tip. So here we go. So guys, I'm just going to play it out. I'm not going to vote for any awards or anything like that. I'm just going to let it announce who the Golden Glovers were. MLB, League News. Here we go. So here's the great glove, the Golden Glove they call it, I call it. The flashing in leather and good with the glove are always ways to describe players who help their teams by playing great defense. Today, the most dependable gloveman in the NL for 1962 runouts. Glenn Hobby as a pitcher. Got the Golden Glove. Johnny Roseborough for the Dodgers. Bill Mazeroski, that makes sense. Ken Boyer, that makes complete sense. Bill White, I don't know how good he was defensively in real life, but he's made it here. Julio Gote, I've only heard of him via this game, so I don't know much about him. Anyone know about Julio Gote? Don Demeter, I've heard of. He looks like a good player for the Phillies. Willie Davis, I definitely know Willie Davis. So that's the National League. And Roberto Clemente. June 15th is the in-season trade deadline. Okay. Well, we're in October at the moment, so we're good. I've got plenty of time. So where's the American League version of this? Oh, here are the American League ones. Dick Stigman, interesting name, won it for the American League. Pitching, in terms of fielding. Ellie Howard, Vic Power. Love the face gens. I know Beatles eternally loves to field real photos. I like them both. Chuck Schilling, any relation to Kurt Schilling? There's a Chuck Schilling here. Was that his dad? Brooks Robinson for the Orioles. Eddie Bressoud, unless it's pronounced in a French way that I'm not very good at. There he is, Bernie's favorite man, Carl Yastrzemski. Jim Landis. Is that the name of the Secret Service agent that recently told us about the magic bullet? Here's Al Kaline. So that's the American League. Clue, behave yourself. Behave yourself, Clue. Go tie. Biggest tickets. Hey guys, honestly. As soon as Clue comes in, the whole tone of the stream starts to deteriorate. Hello, LSU. So, this is good to see that. Let's move on. Let's go to the Cy Young Awards. Let's go to all the awards. Let's get them over and done with. Spring training. So I'm just fast forwarding it past all the awards. It's good to see them done. I will show them in a minute. Let's get to the nitty gritty of the winter meetings and all that stuff. All that good stuff. And watch the MV do his trading magic and see if it works. Especially as I've had to change the settings just ever so slightly. Yeah, no worries. I won't give away the score, legends, but I did watch the end of your championship game, or was it divisional series game actually? That was interesting. I like your managerial moves. Just leave it at that in the bullpens. I think it was St. Louis. Was it against the Mets? I can't remember. Anyway, so just to get to the end of this. So this is what I'm doing now, guys. If I just end, I've got about 10 minutes left. This is for my own sanity. Bob Feller's into the Hall of Fame. Johnny Myers is into the Hall of Fame. And Hal Newhouser into the Hall of Fame. I know that Clue takes a big interest in that. Brooks Robinson is now a New York Yankee. Just looking back some of the old stuff. Willie Smith for Hal Woodershit. Don Mossy. So the Braves have finally just said Dale Willis, Terry Olsen for Don Mossy. So Don Mossy, the former Detroit Tiger, has gone. Just looking at something notable. We can always look at the encyclopedia another time. There's a way to do it just very quickly. League history, history index. Go to 1962. Just have a quick look at 1962. There it is. And the winners were the White Sox. Their lineup. I just got it all wrong there, sorry. Champions, that's what I meant to look at. There they are. The champions, the 1962 champions. Floyd Robinson looks like a really good player. They had a good player of him. I love this part of the game, just showing, the players and their pictures, of course. Some players that were recognised from the 70s coming in now. And some from the 50s that are coming to the end of their career. Ernie Wynn gets a World Series ring for the White Sox. 43 years old. He went 18-5. Ernie Wynn. Nice. Trading block. Yeah, and you know what? I was just thinking about that, thinking, did I miss the Bob Gibson thing because I went too far ahead? Let's have a look. Oh my goodness, there's so many. Where's my tea? The Mets. Gosh. I think I know what I need anyway. There's a lot of players here that just, I'm surprised that they're on there still. Richie Ashburn's back on the market again. Yep, I missed Bob Gibson. I forgot to go back and look at him, didn't I? Bob Gibson is now a New York Yankee. Wow. So that's a Yankee stock, I hate Clue. So, transactions just to see who's free agents. Here we go. Well, free agent ones. Let me look and see if I find anyone first. There's nobody here that I actually want already. Jimmy McDaniel. I'm looking at his real life stats. He plays up until 62. He's a career minor leaguer. Has he got anything that I would want? No. Let's go to the what I said already. Players that are looking for a trade. MLB reports. Waiver wire, would that help as well? No, don't want anybody there. Reports, info, trading block. So many that could be. So I take it the trading block means these guys do not want to be there, or the clubs don't want them. If I look down the list to see if I can get any value, that's anybody that's, say, a first baseman. Anybody see anyone? You think there's some young ones here, Jerry? I can't see any. I don't know if this page goes into another page. There's Richie's back on the market again. Jimmy Purcell. I do like Jimmy Purcell. I need a third baseman is what I need. A good, solid third baseman to give the challenge in spring training. Get your words out, Mark. Don Blasingame? No. Okay. Prospect pipeline. There are some prospects here. But, ooh, look at this. Look at the prospects. Let's just see what they would want for Joe Scott. Nah. Look at my player development again. Is there anyone I don't want? Who's this John Stevenson? 21 years old, looks really good. A lot of these players have come by the draft. I didn't recognize them. Some came. You know, I'm not entirely unhappy. Maybe Neiman needs to go. Maybe I can get some value for Neiman if I just shop around, make him angry. Let's shop now to see what we get for Bob Neiman. Ernie Bank, you think? Well, that's not a bad shout, actually. No one's coming in for Bob Neiman. That's going to be a bit of a trouble. Let's have a look at this again. Free agents. I don't see right reports. Major leagues. Trading block, right, got it. You saw Ernie Banks, there is Ernie Banks there. Ernie's not going to get much better, but if it follows normal trajectory, he should still hit some home runs. He's very unhappy in Chicago. He's 32, probably played to about 37. Ernie can play short, right? So why is it not showing up? Nice, because it's strange. He's obviously he's older now, so it's only going to be a first baseman. I don't really want him. Tony Perez. Let's have a look at the potential. So Jerry's advising look at the potential. So that's trading block potential. We've got to get to 80 wins at least. There's no one that catches my eye as veterans. I know they're all veterans. Unless there's a page missing, I can't see. But I suppose the game is saying these guys are old and for whatever reason is not playing enough, or the team doesn't value them enough because of their age. I get it. Or their roster needs. I get it. That's Dale Long. Some really good names here, actually. So Jersey potential. Oh, let's have a go back again then. At Prospect Pipeline. That's buy potential anyway. That's fine. Will I be able to get any of these guys? They're not that good. Well, they're not good yet. I've always liked Steve Blass. Always liked him. And the last thing I'm going to do is, before I drive everyone crazy with this, I do like to look at my roster this way. So here's my active roster. If I can do all players in my organisation, I'll be very happy. So what I'll do first, I'll get the AI to set everything up. I will play around with it later. Right, so now I can see the whole thing the way I'd like to see it. So I've got two right fielders, Paul Blair, Lou Brock. That's not what I want to do. That's what I want to do. Bob Newman's going to be a pain in the backside. I've got one centre fielder, but Lou Brock or Blair could play there. Left field is Frank Thomas. I've got Ela Chacon, Richard Nunez, who is a minor leaguer. I don't see why he's in my club. But I just got AI to do that, so that's probably why. I've got Monty Bond, Felix Mantilla. Monty Bond, could you do something for me and play third base? No, you can't. It's alright, I know how to get my third baseman. Hubson Hunt is fine. Sammy Drake, you've got to go. I'm sorry, Sammy, we just don't have you. Let's shop around for Sammy. Let's see if we get some veterans in to compete for in spring training. Here's a third baseman. There's an experienced third baseman, Bubba Phillips. His salary, no, Bubba, we can't afford you. We just don't have that kind of money. Let's invite this. No. Nothing. I'll keep this guy. Ken Hubbs, Ron Hunt, Pancho Herrera, Jim Marshall. You've got to go, Jim. Speak to Pete. He'll tell you where your tickets are. You're gone. Yeah, I don't care what I get rid of this guy, Jim Marshall. With the greatest respect to Jim Marshall, of course. This guy can still hit Wally Post. I could get rid of Frank Howard. Wally Post is not great. He's on too high a salary for me. But he can hit. Art Dittmar, 0-2, 7.5 ERA. No thanks. Warren Hackers, play for me in the Red Bolts. No, too old. This guy could be the deal, real deal. Jim Owens, no. Jim Owens, no. Rex Slider, why is he so good? I could. Let's give it about another 5 minutes. Right, so, ladies and gents, as we get to pre-season, I couldn't find anyone that I wanted just yet. Personal message as we get to the beginning of the season. Jim Marshall. He's gone, Chloe. He's gone. I just want to do it before I close the game for the night. Is get rid of Jim Marshall. I'm just looking at my screen. Are there any? If I go by potentials, I don't mind having 2.5 stars. Anyone that's a 2-star. It's got Monty Bond. All these guys here. They need to not even be there. But there were some guys I took in last year. Sherman Jones looks like he's recovered from his injury. That's good news. Anyone know about Pancho Herrera? Because he seems to be someone I got my eye on to come good. Milton Swift is someone I got my eye on as well. I brought him in last year. Or in 62, sorry. The rest of the guys, Don McMahon. Let's see if I can get some value for Don McMahon. Nope. Galen Cisco. I remember him as a pitching coach. Frank Leary. There's a good old veteran Kansas City Athletics. I need some pitching. That's not bad. Ralph Terry. You could, Jerry. You could. Hello, Michael. Welcome. I know. I'm struggling here, to be honest. I'm looking at thinking, Ralph Terry, a Yankee for Don McMahon. No. What was I thinking? Let's keep going down the list. There's got to be guys I can get rid of here. Roger Craig. Okay, Roger Craig. You did not have a good season last season. We're playing in the Polo Grounds. You went 7-21, league leading. You were the weak spot. We could have actually got to 85 games. What am I saying? Probably even 90 games. Why did he have such a bad season? I mean, look at that. 7-21. Did he do that badly in real life? Let's have a look. In 62, he went, actually, not much difference. 10-20. Roger, you gotta go. You gotta go. Either way, if I shop him around, like now, see what happens. Anyone's got to be better than Roger Craig. Anybody. And I know I'm looking at his win-loss record, but compared to the other pitchers, not even close. There's a good value here. Gene Green. Oh, I like Gene Green. I don't like Gene Green. Darryl Spencer. No, he's too old. Minnie Minogue. No, he's too old. Well, I'm getting rid of this guy anyway. Roger Craig, you've got to go. I've got to get a third baseman in here somehow. Bob Bull, you're 34. Is it worth the trade? You're on 41,000? Probably not. Don LeJohn, that's an interesting name. Don LeJohn. Yep, you could do. You'll do. You get on base. What does he do? He gets on base. So Don LeJohn is someone I could consider. Let's try the trade and see what happens. Because I've upped the trades. Let's just have a look and see what happens. My trading reputation is here. Pretty vanilla. Let's just see if I can get anyone else. Someone on the trading block? No. Anyone who falls in their prospects. Potential. See if I can get somebody out there. Dave McNally. I'd love to have him. I don't think I'll get him. Let's just be cheeky. Submit offer. There we go. What do you reckon? No way, of course. So it says, you've been informed by the general manager of the Dodgers. He said, I would assume. Okay. So not completely against it. He's cordial. What else can I package? Cleveland Bean. Cleveland Pine. Get some of the old boys off the payroll. No disrespect to anybody old. No way. They won't discuss it. Okay, I'll have to give them something, won't I? Let's try Ed Boucher. You're wasting your time. Shit. Excuse my language. Take Earl Wilson. Okay. Earl Wilson is on this club? Are you talking about on the prospects list, I take it? So, Jerry. Jacob DeGrom, the DeGrom I got, I think he was pretty decent. I don't want LeJohn, no? Okay, I like the way you put that. Okay, I do want McNally, though. Is this the same Dave McNally I'm thinking of? Yes, it is. He's young. He's not, like, overrated here, it doesn't look like. But he's got, the potential's not that great either, but he's still young. Do I want to get rid of Ed? Ed Boucher has actually been pretty good for me. I think Ed Boucher has value, as reflected in his salary. He had 129 walks, league leading. But he also had 147 strikeouts. That's weird. That's some interesting stats there. Led the league in strikeouts, but also walks. That's really weird. Discuss the trade. So Dave McNally, Don LeJohn. Let's remove LeJohn. Right. So it's going to be... I don't mind getting rid of Boucher, actually. Let's see what they go for. In fact, the colours down here should tell me, right? What are their weak spots? I always forget to use this. Starters and regulars and prospects. Green means they're okay, I'd imagine. So in terms of starters, the blue, I've never understood the blue. But I guess green is good. Blue must be near to good. Yellow is yellow and red is obviously dangerous. I'm going to go that they need starting pitchers and a closer. Cleb, you can come back in there. I think I tried this before. Behave yourself, Here we go. Let's try this one. Let's see this one go. No way. You've been informed. Not happening, sorry. One more go, because they're going to get tired of me. They want someone young, obviously, I'd imagine. A third baseman or a first baseman. Right, let's do this again. One last go. Let's get rid of Pancho. Not that I don't want him. Sammy Drake's definitely up for trade. I could get rid of no one else. Bob Beamer's going to be too expensive to trade. Right, let's try this. Last shot at Dave McNally for now. No way. Alright, that's it. We're done. Okay, so spring training. I'll just take it down to spring training. Personal message. So, some good stuff here in spring training as player development. Bob Miller has, oh no, he's dropped. He's dropped from 4 to 2.5. Oh my god, that's my ace. Just want to get to spring training. Player development update again. Let's quickly go here again. There was a player that I did want to get rid of actually. I forgot all about it. Go to potential. Paul Blair's good. Blue Brock's good. Ron Hunt's good. Thomas. Boucher. I don't think anyone's going to come in for Frank Thomas. But I am not going to risk him for getting actually upset. So I'll leave him as he is. Al Jackson. Clem Labine. Obi Landriff. Mantia. Mantia, I'm going to put on the trading block. I don't know what the difference between on the block and available is, but I'm going to put him on the block. McMahon can stay. Bob Miller, you can stay. Bob Neiman, I don't think anyone's going to come in for your age and salary. Milton Swift, you're good. Elio Chacon, as good as I like you, as much as I like you, my son, I think I'm going to shop you around. Oh, that's a lovely trade, because now I can get Wally Post. I've got the money. Frank Howard's in left field, but I can get rid of Frank and bring in Wally Post. But that makes no sense, right? Which one's the better player? Wally Post or Frank Thomas? Both same age. I think the salaries... Oh, blue is best then green. Right, gotcha. Thank you, Jerry. No, don't trade Post for Thomas. One last thing to do. Thank you for all the help. Just trying to get rid of some fodder in my organisation. Sammy Drake's got trade value, surely. 20,000. He's never going to play for me. Trade options, shop player around. Okay. Let's look for any pictures in here. Okay, Gotwell. Well, this is one that's going to work. This one will definitely work. And I've got myself a bullpen guy. Frank Kreutzer, folks. Let's do it. That's it. I'm not offering any more. Let's see what they say. I guess the Angels this time. Almost. Oh, give me strength. However, if you've had any of these following stars to have a deal. Minor League Ronald Gaspar. Well, he can go because he's no good. Oh, well, he's in minor leagues. He hit 296. Hold on to him. Vito Porter in 1962 minor leagues hit 232. You can go. Richard Snootness. I have no idea how you're going to perform, son, but you know what? You look the weakest already. Got some speed. You'll never make it to the big club, so you know what? I'll take you out your misery. Richard Nunes. Yeah, okay. That should do it, folks. First trade. There we are. Nice one. And I got myself somebody from some help from my bullpen. It's only on 24,000. Frank Kreutzer. Frank Kreutzer. So I'm going down the list again to see if there's anyone else I can get rid of. Kreutzer is better than what I had. Better than McMahon. Bob Miller is okay. Neiman, Milton Swift, Craig Anderson. I've got a feeling that I'll get something for Jim Marshall now. If I don't, trade options, shop player around. Yep, got a nice backup catcher. Two backup catchers, they're both veterans. Hank Foyles. On the transaction page. Okay, Jerry. Clue, you're just jealous because you did a better job with the Mets than you, Clue. You should. I'd love to stream your stuff. Transaction page, yep. Okay. Oh, you're just a little bit more. Yeah, too late now. That's fine. I get it. No worries, Jerry. I'm hearing you. I'm trying to. Sometimes I get confused because I'm following your screen, my other screen, and it's a bit behind. But you can hear me live. So by the time I catch up with you, I've already gone ahead. So yeah. But I heard what you're saying about transaction page. What I haven't tested, actually, is the minor leagues. I mean, look at this guy. Mike Fiore. Mike Fiore is in my game, playing for the Buffalo Bisons. So we've obviously taken over a new club, a new minor league affiliate. So the Buffalo Bisons are now in the Mets. Cleon Jones is going to come up at some point. So some good stuff. Dick Selma, never heard of him before. Maybe I can hold out for him. Jim Harding, I do know. I'm waiting for Harding to come good. Last season was 10-5. I think he's got another season in him still. Buddy Harrelson, not there yet. Won't be there for a while yet. There's Ed Kranepool. So there's some talent here in the Mets, which we know that happens in real life. They will be talented. You think so, Jerry, right? Okay, so if they say almost. So how do I... You mean just submit it again if they say almost? So what I tend to notice, they do come back and just want an extra minor leaguer, just to be pains in the backside. Just go to transactions, set up the AI from organization again. Some slight changes. Well, again, were there any others here? This is the best part of the game for me. It's just scouting through it. See, Fiore has actually been put into the spring training roster, as has Kranepool, I can see. Just want to get through spring training. So here we are in spring training. Not looking good already. We're looking really bad, actually. We're looking at the opening day 62 Mets. Jeez. Oh, hang on. Here we come. Player development update. There we go. So as spring training continues to develop, Tracy Stallard has gone down. Not good. We've got Tracy Stallard last. Clem Labine has regressed, again down to age. Frank Thomas' power's dropped, and speed, and Bob Neiman has dropped to. So this is probably to be expected at the ages they're at, except for Tracy Stallard. That's very disappointing, Tracy. Very disappointing. Right, folks. I'm very aware that I've been broadcasting for quite a while. But thank you for hanging in there. I will be broadcasting tomorrow, I think. I've got my Mets set up. Let's check spring training. We're not doing badly. I mean, 13-30, that's a 500, right? That's not bad. That's not bad at all. Not bad with this spring training. What can you really tell? Here's a spring training hitting and so on and so forth. We have Paul Blair now leading off, shortstop. Well, I haven't messed with the lineups yet. I will do before opening day. Ken Hubbs, Frank Thomas, Felix Mantilla batting cleanup. That's a bit weird. Mike Fiore fascinates me. Why is he so good? I take it in real life, he's nothing really, but here, is it Fiore or Fiore? Fiore. Kurt Mutton's getting a start. Mutton. Where's Lou Brock? Right, let's just get to the end to opening day and then we'll call it a day. So spring training is not gone that bad. Bob Neiman's got an injury. Bob Neiman's got an injury. Just getting it right back to now to the opening day and we'll call it a day. 100 prospects now listed. There's Reggie Smith, Rico Carty, Joe Morgan, he's at Houston, Willie Stargell, Tony Koenig, Billy McCall, never heard of him. What becomes of Billy McCall? He looks really good. Billy McCall played for Cincinnati as a pitcher. Kind of guy we would like to pick up. Bill Singer, Fritz Peterson, I think is the wife swapping Fritz Peterson, Tony Perez, Dick Allen. Again, this is the stuff I like to see in the game. Right, so it looks like the season's about to start. Preseason prediction. In the American League, it is saying, let's see, that the Twins will win it all. Yankees will come second, so that's interesting to see. Top hitters, it's predicting. Bob Gibson will be the best pitcher. This is useful to look at, I think. The M&M boys should come back to form, it looks like. In the National League, we are predicted to come dead last. Are they serious? Are they serious? Why? Even the Houston team, we must be that bad. Clue, we're predicted to lose more than I lost this season. That can't be right. That's got to be wrong. Anyway, so pitching leaders in the spring training, just to show that off. Spring training, we saw that. Batting leaders. Tony Oliva, not interested. Mickey Mantle, these are the... No, oh, here's Lou Brock, triples, nice. Any Mets on there? Mantilla for doubles. Maybe I was a bit too hasty with Mantilla. But I don't like how they're predicting only a small amount of wins. That's not right. Well, wait till my lineup gets set. When I set my lineup, you'll see what happens. So, it's the 8th of April. Is that opening day? So here's opening day, folks. So I'll stop it here. I can always do that on another stream because I'm gone for hours here. To be honest, it's such an interesting, for me anyway, project to learn about these players. Yeah, I think someone said, thank you, Clue. As Wellsworth's Gamer comes in, hello WWG. Well, I could run it. You guys want me to run it? The season, or run a bit of the season? What the hell, why not? Because there's a lot of chatting here about thanks Jerry, much appreciated. You came in at the end, WWG. You can always go back and have a look at my wonderful Mets from '62. We're now in 1963, So the Mets have acquired the Buffalo Bisons franchise as on the minor league. Got some good players coming through, like Cleon Jones, Dick Selman, and there's another players I'm learning about. But you mentioned the Yankees. I'll just quickly show you the Yankees WWG because you're always having a bash at them for good reason. I think it's just the way. I think it was Bill James who said the 61 Yankees were overrated. Is that the one with the famous Yankee team? Was it 62? But I think Bill James mentioned the fact they were overrated and how Bobby Richardson only had like one of the smallest on-base percentages of a great team. So if I just quickly look here, standings, let's go to the Yankees. Last season, where do I find that? Here's your team now, by the way, WWG, of the team. Mantle still there, Maris, Elston, Howard, all the usual suspects are there. I don't remember Jim Gentile being a New York Yankee in 62. He wasn't. But he is now. Brooks Robinson is now an acquisition. He's now playing third base. So the Yankees trying to go for it here. And they also got Bob Gibson. So the game obviously is straying away from reality, which it would do from the moment the first pitch is pitched. But that's interesting to see that. In terms of the history, if I go to info of the Yankees, history of the Yankees, come down to last season WWG, they actually obviously won in 61, which I didn't sim, but 62 they went 92 and 70, but they came second in the league to the White Sox. If you want to see the Yankees in 62, this is them. How do I do this? Positional. In 62, this is how they lined up in 62. Elston Howard, Bill Skowron, Bobby Richardson, Cleet Boyer, looks like the real Yankees, of course, Tom Tresh, Yogi Berra, 37 years old, the Mick, and Maris, which is exactly how they were in real life, I guess. This season, 63, so the same players are mooted to start. If I just look at the pictures, I love this part of Eldon Park, which is so cool. Whitey Ford went 11 and 15 WWG. Stafford 18 and 11. Terry 14 and 4.14 ERA, 14 wins. So Whitey Ford didn't do too well in 62. In real life in 62, and I know Beatles is with me on this one, is that, yeah, Jerry, you're right, yeah. But even Whitey Ford, I mean, I know Beatles recently was talking about maybe whether he was overrated. I kind of don't know much about Whitey Ford. I know what Cy Young is, but Whitey Ford did not perform anywhere near what he would have normally have done in 1962. So that's probably the difference. Yeah. Well, good point there. In real life, they had 96 wins in real life, right? And won the pennant. Here they had 90 wins, so they weren't far out, to be honest. But they did, in fact, they had 92 wins. So there are just 4 wins difference between reality and what they did in real life. Sorry, reality and what they did in the game of sim that I just simmed. So just the White Sox were just that much better. If I quickly look at the White Sox team from 62 on this one, again, recognize all the names. There were no big trades for that team. Sherman, 103 of 59. Now, I don't know what the White Sox did in 1962, but I'm pretty confident it wasn't 103 of 59. So, it's just always good to look at that kind of stuff. I really enjoy this game. Haven't really got into it since, until recently. But as much as I'm tempted to start the new season, I'll leave it till tomorrow. So, I just want to say thank you so much for being in the work chat tonight. It's a bit of an interesting sim, myself and Clue. Clue, I'll definitely hit you up in the Discord. But Jerry, thanks for joining the book. I've not seen you here before, or if I have, forgive me if I didn't remember. But, well, you're more than welcome. And Michael, thanks for coming in. Big Clue, who set this up in the first place. WWG, always good to see you. Clue, I said Clue already. Let's see, Michael came in, Michael Silver, Legends came in. Welcome, welcome, welcome. See you all later. And I know Legends is coming back on. Legends Sport Network, Sports Universe is doing his broadcasting. Dwayne Martz also doing his broadcasting. I think, Jay, you've done yours today already, Dwayne. Thanks for coming in. So, folks, thank you very much. I'm just a New York Mets fan, trying to make the best of Mets history. It's a wonderful history, and they're a very popular team. Even from non-Mets fans, I'm sure you love the Mets as well. I don't know what it is about the 62 Mets, but it's obviously something in baseball lore that's gone down well with many people. And although I'm not an American or a North American, I definitely identify as a Met, 100%. Probably because I went to Queens as a kid, stayed in Queens for a while when I was a little boy, about 11 or 12. And I had a Joel Youngblood card, a Steve Henderson card. I'm stretching my memory, I'm squinting my eyes as I try and remember the initial baseball cards I got. And definitely, Youngblood was one and Henderson was another. And for whatever reason, the colours maybe, or maybe the fact I was in Queens and went past Shea Stadium, I was hooked. But I never became a Yankees fan and I was still there too. So thank you. Yeah, wonderful. This is brilliant stuff. Right, guys, I'll leave you to it. Jerry, thanks for all your help. Clue, as always. Shotgun. And thank you so much, everybody. I will see you on the other side. Plenty of lots of streams out there today. I think, like I said, WWG is even doing his stuff now. So that's all good. Right. Ta-ra. Hopefully you'll see me tomorrow. Steve, hold on a minute. Steve, you walk in now? Now? Clue, guess what's just washed up? Steve, looking forward to catching up with you, man. It's good to see you. I know work's been busy. Steve, we've all been waiting for you as well. When you're ready, if you ever come back to the baseball Shanks League. But wonderful to see you. Wonderful to see you. We were all, myself and Clue, were a bit concerned that we weren't going to pick up the right gardening sim. You know, the lawnmower sim. So while you've been doing that, I've been sitting down eating my fish nuggets, just waiting for you to return. So it's good to see you again, Steve. Definitely up for the basketball. But we'll catch up. We'll catch up another time. So, guys, I shall leave you to it as we got a last-minute appearance from Steve, a teasing appearance. It's good to see you, Steve. Right, I will catch everyone on the other side. Take care now.